Hello, good evening and welcome to Unacademy IAS, a one-stop destination for all the English medium civil services aspirants. Welcome to another session of Conquer Prelims 2025. So far, the sessions covering current affairs from January 2024 to May 2024 in subjects such as ecology and environment, the polity classes and IR have been completed. Today and tomorrow, I'll be taking up the current affairs for the same duration. Today will be part 1, tomorrow will be part 2. If you like this initiative, do hit the like button. And if you're yet to subscribe to our YouTube channel, kindly do it now. And those who are wondering, sir, what about current affairs after May 2024? Because the UPSC might ask current affairs from October, November 2024 or January 2025. What about the current affairs? Have patience. This is only the first phase. In the subsequent phases, we are going to cover even the current affairs for the remaining duration of 24 and 25. So that by the time you go for the civil services examination, you will be equipped not only in the terms of current affairs, but also the static portion that is required to ace the examination. Now, before I start the discussion, many of you will be asking me for the PPT. You will ask for the PPT. You will ask for, let's say certain short notes, etc. What I want you people to do for the next 1.5 hours is simply sit, focus with attention, try to solve the questions along with me and listen to the explanation when I provide it. And after the session is over, I will ensure that the PPT along with the short notes are uploaded in my Telegram channel. For that, all you need to do is simple. There is a QR code here. Scan. I'm pretty sure all of you have internet and also a smartphone. Scan the QR code, join the Telegram channel, and mother promise, after the class is over, you will be able to get the PPT as well as certain short notes. Now, let me start the discussion. Question number 1. All solve it, and those who want to simply listen to the explanation now. Let's start. Question number 1. Consider the following regarding Retail Direct Gilt Scheme. RDG, Retail Direct Gilt Scheme. Now, the reason that I've given this particular question, for every question that I give, I will give you the background to that. Why have I picked up this particular question? Please have a look at this particular article. In the month of January and February, there was this article which was published in all the newspapers, where Reserve Bank of India announced 3 very important reforms. We will discuss all the 3 important reforms, but let's solve the question first. It is available only for the domestic investors. It will provide access to primary issuance of the G securities. And the third statement, under this, the investors can purchase the state and central government securities. And just to make you aware and be prepared for the difficult kind of questions, may not be the statement, but with the options, I've ensured that all the options or most of the options are in this particular form. That is, only one of the statement is true, 2 of them are true, 3 of them are true, or none of them are true. Now let's start. The poll is there. Please answer, and the poll will stop very soon in a span of seconds. Let's start. Consider the following regarding Retail Direct Gilt Scheme. It is available only for the domestic investors. Be careful. When they use the term domestic investors, it could mean domestic institutional investor. It could mean domestic retail investor. That is, it could be, let's say, a pension fund. It could be an insurance fund. That is a domestic investor. So, is the Retail Direct Scheme, is it available for all the domestic investors? No, it is available for retail investors, not for institutional, only for retail. But here also, I hope you understand this. Here also, sir, is it available only for resident investors in India? No. If you are a non-resident investor and if you fulfill the conditions under FEMA, all of you heard of FEMA? Foreign Exchange Management Act of 1999. If you fulfill the conditions under FEMA, even if you are non-resident investor, you can use the retail direct gilt scheme. And those who are wondering, sir, what is the retail direct gilt scheme? Simple. Under this, you can open an account with Reserve Bank of India, which is called as a retail direct gilt account. And using this account, you can purchase the G securities. You can purchase and trade in G securities. Equally important, purchase and trade. What do you mean by purchase? The primary issuance of G securities, it could be the central government security or even the STL. All of you heard of STL? Please do let me know, respond to me in the chat section. STL, State Development Loans. So central government, dated securities. Central government, sovereign gold bonds. Central government, treasury bills. And the state government, the state development loans, that is the state bonds. All of this you can purchase and trade them using retail direct gilt account. So look at the first statement. It is available only for the domestic investors? No. Second one, it will provide access to primary issuance of the G securities. Yes. Yes. Using this, you can purchase the government securities, be it of the central or state, you can purchase. Second statement is true. Everybody is clear? Third one, under this, the investors can purchase the state and central government securities. Yes, that is also correct. So the right option for the question number 1 is right option B. Only 2 of the statements are true. Everybody is clear regarding this? Now, what is the connection to current affairs? Sir, why should I read this? Was it there in the newspaper? Yes. Point number 1. Reserve Bank of India last year has launched, right, basically a mobile app. Right, look at this. The RBI has launched a mobile app for what? Retail direct gilt. Simple. Retail direct gilt, right, the mobile app has been launched by Reserve Bank of India. That is the first very important reform. Second very important reform, there is a portal which has been set up by RBI. And when I say RBI, there are multiple subsidiaries of RBI. All of you heard of this? There are multiple subsidiaries of RBI. Subsidiary means an entity which is owned by RBI. So one of the subsidiary is RBIH, Reserve Bank of India Innovation Hub. And by the way, before I go forward, anybody can tell me any other subsidiary of RBI? What are the other names of subsidiaries? Do let me know in the chat section. So Prava portal essentially is a portal which will basically ensure that regulatory applications, etc., right, will be applied online now. Sir, what kind of regulatory applications? Around 60 types of applications. I repeat, around 60 types of applications, and now you can do it online itself. Sir, any example of an application? My dear, you want to apply, let's say you are a billionaire. You want to apply and you want to get a banking license. Rather than going in a physical form, now you can apply it for online. Very simple. You can apply for it online itself now. So 60 types of applications, you can apply and track the status of all of them using Pravaha portal, using this portal. So first measure, retail direct mobile app. Second measure, Pravaha portal, online application, tracking, approval, etc. Third one, a fintech repository. Remember this, a fintech repository. The Reserve Bank of India is a subsidiary by the name of RBIH has set up and is maintaining a fintech repository. A fintech is a financial institution. For example, an NBFC, which will provide lot of financial services to you. So now, whether these are regulated or whether these are registered or not registered, regulated or not, these data collection will be done in this fintech repository. Right, and this is being maintained by RBIH. Please remember this. And additional information, what are the other subsidiaries of Reserve Bank of India? What are the other subsidiaries? We have DICGC, very important. Please make a note of this. You have REBIT, Reserve Bank Information Technology Private Limited. You have BRB NMPL, again equally important. Please make a note of this. And the final one, IFTAS, Indian Financial Technology and Allied Services. These are some of the other subsidiaries of Reserve Bank of India. So everybody is okay? So in a single question, I have given you multiple points which are connected to current affairs. Retail direct gilt scheme, fintech repository, subsidiaries of Reserve Bank of India, and I have also given you information regarding Pravaha portal. Right? All of them are there in the current affairs. Be careful. Now, let me go to question number 2. Let's start. Question number 2. The question is there on your board. If you want to solve it, start solving, and the poll will start very soon. It will be live for around 60 seconds. Solve it. Those who want to listen to the explanation, let's start. Consider the following statements. Section 47 of RBI Act of 1934 provides for surplus transfer. Right? Second statement, the surplus transfer done now is based on Raghuram Rajan committee. Third one, higher yields of USA governments do tend to increase the earnings of Reserve Bank of India. I am pretty sure a lot of you will be able to solve for the first statement and second statement. Now you will get stuck up with the third statement. Right? Do let me know whether I am correct or incorrect in the chat section. A lot of you will simply say very easy when you start with first statement. When you solve the second statement, you will feel very happy and proud about yourself. Yes, I am scoring good now. But the moment you go to the third statement, you will get stuck up. Why? This is not given in any book. This was not mentioned in any book. No reference book has talked about this. The reason why I have given the third statement, I'll come back to this. Don't worry. This was the article in Business Standard. This was the article in Business Standard last year. US Treasuries drive Reserve Bank of India's bumper surplus to center. RBI's bumper surplus to the center, one of the reason is the US Treasuries. Now, what is the basic connection here? What is the importance of all of this? And those who are wondering, sir, will I get this article to read? My dear, again I am reiterating this. After the session is over, you will get a link to download the PPT that I am using. And also a small write-up for all of these articles. Have patience, listen to the lecture. But I know most of you are collectors. On a lighter note, but most of you are collectors. Sir, one more document for me to read. Yes, I will download. Give it to me. I will collect it and I'll start reading after the prelims are over because I will have more time. Don't do that. It is for your benefit. Use the document. Let's start. Section 47 of RBI Act of 1934 provides for surplus transfer. Absolutely correct. Sections of RBI Act, right, I hope you understand, sections of RBI Act are relevant. Lot of connection you can derive because of certain sections in the RBI Act. What I would recommend to you people is focus on certain important sections. For example, section 7, section 8, section 21, section 22, section 47, and all of these are related to current affairs. For example, one section talks about the role of role of RBI, the right of RBI to print currency notes. Section 22. Was it there in the newspaper? Was it there in the newspaper? Sir, what connection? 2000 rupee currency note. Correct? Certain section talks about Central Board of Directors, which has a composition of the RBI governor plus 4 deputy RBI governors. Was there a discussion regarding RBI governor appointment as well as deputy governor appointment in recent times? Again, answer is yes. So that's a reason. Focus, be careful regarding these sections. Let's start. Section 47 of RBI Act of 1934 provides for surplus transfer. Yes. The reason that I've given this question is because of this. It is because of this. RBI to transfer 2.1 lakh crore rupees surplus to the central government for financial year 24. This appeared in the month of May last year. RBI has transferred more than 2 lakh crore rupees, one of the highest surplus to government of India. So it is section 47 which talks about all of this. Second one, the surplus transfer done now is based on Raghuram Rajan committee recommendation. Is it true? No. The surplus transfer is associated with recommendations of the formula by Bimal Jalan committee. By Bimal Jalan committee. Bimal Jalan is the former Reserve Bank of India's governor. Right, so the committee was set up by the government, and based on the recommendations of the Jalan committee, we have a formula now. So second statement incorrect. Third statement, higher yields of USA government securities do tend to increase the earnings of RBI. Statement is true. The statement is true. Be careful about this. Why? RBI has a forex reserves. Everybody is okay with this statement? RBI maintains a forex reserves, and in case of forex reserves, there are multiple components. You have foreign currency assets, you have gold reserve, you have special drawing rights, you have gold tranche or reserve tranche. These are the four components. Out of the four components, the most important one is the foreign currency asset. The most important one is the foreign currency asset. And within foreign currency asset, please understand, the most important one is the foreign currency, that is a dollar, and the foreign instrument, that is a dollar instruments, which are nothing but treasury bills of USA government. Treasury bills of USA government. And if you are wondering, sir, how much will RBI invest? They might have invested 100 rupee or maybe 1 crore rupee. That's it. Not a very big amount. As on 31st March 2024, Reserve Bank of India had invested $240 billion worth of currencies in the treasury bills of USA government. Just think of it. $240 billion. Total amount of investment was $240 billion. Right? The forex reserve is essentially around 600 plus. Around 600 plus billion. Out of that, 240 billion is sitting in US treasury bills itself. Now answer to my question, very simple question by the way. If the yields on the treasury bills will start increasing, if the yields of US treasury bills will start increasing, don't you think the investments that have been done by Reserve Bank of India, they will also start fetching better returns? Yes or no? Right, the investments done by RBI, will they not get better returns? Will they not get more amount of income now because of this? And if they are able to earn more income, the total amount of receipts, that is the income or the earnings of RBI will increase. And if receipts increases, what will happen to surplus? Just think of this. What do you think will happen to surplus? Surplus will also, right, start increasing. So everybody is okay with the third statement now? Please do let me know. Everybody is okay with the third statement? Higher yields of USA government securities do tend to increase the earnings of Reserve Bank of India. Yes. So first statement is true. Third statement is true. Right option is option B. But now, right, the first and third statements are correct. Okay. Right. So related to this, this is the article in Hindu. This is the article in Business Standard. Okay. Now let me go to question number 3. Let's go to third question. Third question, consider the following statements. This is on investment model. This is on investment model. That is basically associated with space industry and FDI. And the poll has started. If you are interested, do let me know the right answer in the poll, and others listen to the discussion now. The government of India has allowed 100% FDI for satellite manufacturing launch vehicle production under direct route. That is one statement. Second statement, the Ministry of Finance is responsible for the FDI policy, right, in India. FDI policy in India. Right, whether the first statement is true, second is correct, both are correct or both are incorrect. Basically the old pattern of question. Right, one is correct, two is correct, both are correct or both are incorrect. The reason why I've given this article, again very simple. Have a look at the article headline here. The government approves 100% FDI in space sector. And a lot of you, I know this, a lot of you would have read only the headline of the article and you will basically say first statement is correct. Right? Because you had read somewhere in Hindu newspaper, 100% FDI in the space sector. You will simply jump up in your chair in the examination hall and become so happy. Finally, right, my reading of Hindu has yielded results. First statement is correct. No, first statement is incorrect. First statement is incorrect. Why? Please have a look at this. The government of India has allowed 100% FDI. But in the space, there are multiple components. Is it okay? In the space, there are multiple components. Right? One is, right, let's say rocket manufacturing. Another one is component manufacturing. Another one is, right, let's say satellite manufacturing. Is it okay? Another one is satellite manufacturing. So, government of India has not opened up all the three to 100%. I hope you understand. Government of India has not opened up all the three to 100%. So, what is the level then? 100% FDI is allowed in manufacturing of component systems. The components that are needed, the government of India has opened up 100% FDI. Second one, up to 74% of FDI has been allowed for satellite manufacturing. Right? Now you will simply say, sir, 100% is also allowed. Yes, up to 74% is a direct route. Direct essentially means you do not require anybody's permission. You don't require anybody's permission. You can simply bring in the investment, do that in the space sector and inform RBI in the next 30 days. But what if you want to bring more than 74% for manufacturing of satellite manufacturing in India? What if you want to bring more than 74? Then government says, you come to me. Right? You will have to come to me. Right? First come to me, take the approval and then you can invest. So, it is not directly under the direct route. It is under the, right, let's say government route as well beyond 74%. Third one, for development of launch vehicles. That is, you need a rocket. Simple, don't complicate all of this. You want to launch a satellite. So, you need to manufacture satellite. But you need a vehicle to take the satellite to lower Earth orbit or geostationary orbit, etc. That is also FDI is allowed. And you need components also. So, in components, 100%, satellite, 74%, and right, essentially for rocket systems, you are allowed 49%. You are allowed up to 49%. Sir, what about after 49%? Same. You go to the government, apply for it, government will give you approval. So, everybody is okay with this? Everybody is okay? So, is the first statement correct? Absolutely no. Right? Absolutely no. Only the component manufacturing 100%, rocket 49%, satellite 74%. The Minister of Finance is responsible for the FDI policy. Many of you will feel this is also correct. Finance, sir, Minister of Finance, the most important one. They should be making the policy. No, it is a DIPP. It's not Ministry of Commerce, it is a DIPP. So, it is the DIPP which makes the FDI policy for India. It is not Ministry of Finance. And by the way, I want an answer from all of you now because you are the, right, let's say future civil services or let's say civil servants. You are the district magistrate next year. Under which ministry does the DIPP come under? Right? Under which ministry does the DIPP come under? Which ministry? Please do let me know. So, second statement is also incorrect. What is the right option? The right option for question number 3 will be option D. Priya Kumari says Ministry of Commerce and Industry. Mansi also says Ministry of Industry. Tarak Commerce. Sudarshan Commerce. Tushar, right? Yes, Commerce. Krishna Oja MHA, Ministry of Home Affairs. My dear, how? Ministry of Commerce. It is Ministry of Commerce, by the way. Okay, done. And one more, right? Basically, a footnote here. DIPP will also play a very important role in promoting Startup India policy? Was the Startup India policy in the newspaper in recent times? Do let me know. Was the Startup India policy in the newspaper very recently? Yes. Anniversary celebration. So it is the DIPP. DIPP defines and notifies or gives the recognition for startups in India. Okay, done. Right, let me go to the next question. Question number 4. Okay, the poll has started. Those who are interested, solve it. Which of the following are the recommendations of N. Vagul Committee? N. Vagul basically stands for Narayanan Vagul Committee. And those who are wondering, sir, right, a very out of syllabus question. How can you ask this kind of question out of syllabus? Right, I don't know. It is not given anywhere. How can you ask this kind of a question? I will ask you this kind of question because of this. Very simple. I'll ask you this kind of question because of this newspaper article. What does the newspaper article say? Mr. Narayanan Vagul, a doyen of Indian banking, passes away. And mind you, Mr. Narayanan Vagul to be very precise, was a very well-known economist, expert in the banking sector. He was an expert in the banking sector. And back in 1997, Mr. Narayanan Vagul, right, when he was heading a particular bank, he was appointed as the chairperson of a committee. And that committee very famously is referred to as Vagul Committee. Is the point clear? That committee is referred to as a Vagul Committee. He was heading ICICI back then. So what are the recommendations of the Vagul Committee? I have basically asked here. Which of the following instruments are the recommendations? And mind you, UPSC has this tendency of asking a question from a money market. Correct? All of you know this, right? UPSC has the tendency of asking a question in the money market. They are more interested in money market. So that's the reason this is there in the newspaper regarding the money market. Let's start. Which of the following are the recommendations of N. Vagul Committee? Right? First one, certificates of deposit. Is it true? Yes. Right? Yes. Certificates of deposit and commercial papers. Certificates of deposit and commercial papers. These were the recommendations of N. Vagul Committee. Is the statement clear to all of you? Right? Mr. Dior says in this series 70% of answer is option B. Right? Don't worry about, right, let's say guessing the option. Focus on the discussion. Focus on the discussion. Right? I could have changed the option. I can change the answer also. Don't worry about all of that. Focus on the concepts. Okay. Certificate of deposit and commercial papers. These are the recommendations of N. Narayanan Vagul Committee, and both of them are associated with money market. Both of them are associated with money market. So the recommendations of N. Vagul Committee are associated with the money market instrument. Is the point clear? Is the point clear? Now, is it okay if I presume that you know what is certificate of deposit? You know commercial bill? You know, right, let's say commercial papers, and I also, right, assume that you know what is a 91-day treasury bill. Is my assumption correct or incorrect? Please do let me know. Is my assumption correct or incorrect? And in the same question, let me change the question statement. Let me change the question statement now. Okay. The question statement now will be, which of the following instruments are issued at a discount? Which of the following, right, instruments are issued at a discount and redeemed at par? Do let me know the answer now. I'll repeat the statement again here. Somebody said, sir, your series is always like this only. B, correct. I'll change it now. Okay. So, which of the following instruments are issued at, right, discount and redeemed at par? Right. Only one of these instruments, right? Two of these instruments, three of these instruments, or four, all the four of these instruments. Please do let me know. How many of these instruments? Right? 1, 2, 3 or 4? Answer is except the third one. Remember this. Except the third one, all the other 3 are issued at discount, redeemed at par. So finally, please have a look at this. The option is different now. The option will be option C. Right? Option will be option C. Now somebody said explain a bit. Right? Explain these statements in a bit. My dear, all of these are point number 1, money market instruments. What is a money market? It's a market where the validity of the instruments is less than 1 year. And the maturity period of the instruments is up to 1 year or less than 1 year. 91-day treasury bill. Anybody will ask me, sir, what is the maturity period of 91-day treasury bill? Let me know. Anybody will simply say in the chat section, right, what is the maturity period of 91-day treasury bill? You did not tell me that. My dear, look at the name, you will understand. So 91-day treasury bills are issued by the central government. And please remember this, treasury bills are issued only by the center, they are not issued by the state governments. Whereas bonds can be issued by the center as well as the state government. Okay, bonds can be issued by both, but the treasury bill only by the center. Now, whenever you talk about treasury bills, you can basically, right, understand this, purchase these at discount. Meaning what? Imagine the face value, that is the actual value of the bond is 100. You will pay, let's say 95 rupees. After 91 days, you will be paid 100 rupees. That is essentially the meaning of are issued at discount and redeemed at par. So 91-day treasury bills. Commercial bills. I will say something to you. You will issue an instrument promising payment after, let's say, 90 days. You will issue an instrument to me promising payment after 45 days. That, my dear, is called as a commercial bill. Right? That is essentially called as a commercial bill. Third one, commercial paper. Let's say a particular bank or an all India financial institution wants to borrow money for very short duration. They want to borrow but very, very short duration. Right? Let's say 91 days or let's say 180 days, etc. In such case, please understand, the bank will issue these instruments, right? I'm sorry, commercial paper, company, not bank, company. Company will issue these instruments for a very short duration, but at a discounted price, And upon maturity, they will give you what is the face value. Is everyone okay? And finally, certificate of deposit issued by a bank or a all India financial institution. They will issue this for a shorter duration and right, basically issue them at discount, and upon maturity will give you the face value. So everybody is okay? Again, those who are asking, listen to me carefully. Certificate of deposit, commercial papers, 91-day treasury bills are issued at discount, redeemed at par. Whereas a commercial bills are basically the instruments where company promises a payment after certain time period. Okay, so right option for the actual question will be option B. The second question that I asked you now, option will be option C. Right, that is that there are 3 instruments which are issued at discount, redeemed at par. Everybody is okay? Everybody is at peace? Sir, why are you asking these kind of difficult questions? There was one learner who says, all these questions are very difficult. My dear, I am asking this based on what is there in the current affairs. Based on what is there in the current affairs, right? It's not that I'm a sadist. I want to give you a difficult question. I want you suffering, etc., etc. Absolutely nothing of that sort. Okay, done. Let me go to question number 5 now. Let me go to question number 5. Let's start. Consider the following statements. The commemorative coins are minted as at SPMCIL. Second statement, the minting of coins is under the prerogative of central government. And the third statement, the distribution of the coins is undertaken by Reserve Bank of India. Now, many of you will simply say, sir, this is easy. Earlier question, sir, very difficult. Sir, this is easy. But the reason that I've asked this question is this. Right? The reason that I'm asking this question is this. That is, Finance Ministry notifies 90 rupee coin to commemorate 90 years of Reserve Bank of India. Last year, multiple important historical events have taken place. 75 years, there was a commemorative coin. RBI has completed 90 years, again a commemorative coin. That is the only reason I've asked a question on commemorative coins. So point number one, all of you please listen to me. Okay, listen to me. Right? Commemorative coins essentially means these are the kind of coins which represent a certain event which has taken in the past. Is the point clear? Is the point clear? It is representing, it is issued to represent, to basically remember certain event that has taken in the past. That is a commemorative coin. Commemorative coins can be used for circulation, some of them, and some of the commemorative coins are not used for circulation. Sir, why? Why can't we use a commemorative coin for circulation? My dear, imagine a commemorative coin has been made which has a value of, let's say, 75 rupees, but it has a silver in it. Think of it. It has a silver in it. So don't you think the value of the silver which is used to manufacture a commemorative coin will be much greater than the face value of the coin? That is, intrinsic value will be much greater than the face value. Those are not used for circulation purposes. These are purely for collection purposes. Okay, let's start. Commemorative coins are minted at SPMCIL. Absolutely correct. Securities Printing and Minting Corporation of India Limited. It is minted at SPMCIL. Now, before I go forward, let me ask you one more question. Which are the places in India where the coins are minted? Let me know. Which are the places in India where the coins are minted? Now, don't take this, type it in the Google, write Control C and Control V in the chat section. You tell me how much you remember. In UPSC, you will not have that. I hope you understand. In UPSC, you will not have this. Okay, somebody says, what is SPMCIL? Securities Printing and Minting Corporation of India Limited. Okay, now, right, the commemorative coins are minted here. The minting of the coins is under the prerogative of central government. Yes, absolutely correct. Absolutely correct. It is the prerogative of the government of India. Whereas the printing of the currency notes is done by Reserve Bank of India. It is done by Reserve Bank of India. The distribution of the coins is undertaken by Reserve Bank of India. Yes. Minting is done by the government, but the distribution of the coins is done by Reserve Bank of India. All the three statements are correct. Hence, right option will be, I am disrupting the trend now. Right option is option C here. Is it okay? Right option is option C. Now come to this question that I asked earlier. Many of you have given right option. Some of you have given wrong answer. Let me tell you. The places where the coins are minted, are Noida. Remember this, are Noida. One is Noida. Second one is Hyderabad. Third one is, right, Bombay. And the fourth one is Calcutta. Is it okay? Fourth one is Calcutta. Some of you are writing Nasik. My dear, Nasik, you have a printing press. Is it okay? Somebody said Mysore. Mysore, you have a printing press. Right? Where currency notes are printed. Where currency notes are printed. Be very, very careful. Be very, very careful. Done? Right? So, these are, right, these are the points regarding this. And this is there in the newspaper very often. Be very, very careful. Right? There is a student who is saying this is a descriptive or this is a, right, subjective question. What do you mean by subjective question? You are basically telling UPSC that you can't ask me this question in prelims. Please do let me know. You are telling UPSC that you cannot ask me this question in the prelims. Please keep it to mains only. If you ask this, I will write the answer to this in the mains examination. You may not know where UPSC will ask you questions regarding this. Right? Be careful. Right? It's not just that UPSC is referred to as the unpredictable public service commission. They can ask you this question anywhere, even in interview. Why? Somebody would have written in the right application form, collection of coins is my hobby. I know somebody will simply say, collection of coins is my hobby. My dear, you are sitting in the interview, they will ask you, imagine there is a coin and there is a diamond signal right on the coin like this. There is a diamond symbol. What does it actually signify? And you will be first time listening to it saying that there is a diamond symbol also. Then somebody will throw one more question. Imagine there is a coin, there is a solid circle like this on the coin. What does it signify? You'll be like, okay, diamond is also there and solid symbol is also there. Right? You'll be asking the interviewer, sir, on this side or that side? My dear, where the coins are minted, I hope you understand. And where the coins are minted, there are symbols. Right? I hope you understand. At least now, some of you, I know, some of you would have taken the coins from your pocket and trying to see what is there on your coin. See, either there will be a star or there will be a diamond like this or a solid circle. Now somebody will say nothing is there. That is also a symbol that it is minted at a particular place. Is it okay? Somebody will say, sir, you are wrong. Nothing is there in my coin. Nothing is there. That is also a symbol that it is minted at a particular place. Totally 4 symbols. Okay, so it can be asked, be very, very careful. Be careful. Okay, let me go forward. Question number 6. Question number 6. The poll will start. Let's start. Consider the following statements. SAT, that is Security Appellate Tribunal. SAT essentially means a Securities Appellate Tribunal. SAT will hear appeals against orders issued by SEBI, PFRDA and IRDAI. SEBI stands for Securities Exchange Board of India. PFRDA stands for Pension Fund Regulatory Development Authority. And IRDAI will stand for Insurance Regulatory Development Authority of India. SAT is a statutory body. It is a 3-member body and has only one bench sitting at Delhi. Right? It's a 3-member body and it has only one bench sitting at Delhi. Now, what is the reason why this question has been provided? Multiple articles in the last 1 year. I'll just show you 2. One article, government appoints a new presiding officer for SAT. Second article, absence of full bench bars, functioning of SAT, backlog of cases set to mount. Now, let's start. Let's start answering the questions. SAT will hear appeals against the orders issued by SEBI, PFRDA and IRDAI. Absolutely correct. It is correct, by the way. SAT, that is a Security Appellate Tribunal, whatever orders have been issued by other regulatory authorities. These are other regulatory authorities. That is SEBI, PFRDA and IRDAI. They will hear that basically the appeals against these regulatory authorities. So, first statement is true. Second statement, SAT is a statutory body. SAT, Securities Appellate Tribunal is a statutory body. That statement is also true. There is an act called as the SEBI Act. Has everyone heard of this? Please do let me know. There is an act called as SEBI Act. Right? Under SEBI Act, there is a provision that is section 15K. Under the provision of section 15K, we have set up Securities Appellate Tribunal. And those who are wondering, sir, is the SEBI Act important? Is there any connection that we can think of? My dear, very recently, the former finance minister, Mr. Manmohan Singh, passed away. Correct? This year, Mr. Manmohan Singh passed away. And last year, Mr. P.V. Narasimha Rao was in the newspaper because of Bharat Ratna. Now, can you connect, right? Can you basically establish a relationship and connect it to SEBI now? Think of it, right? Mr. P.V. Narasimha Rao was the Prime Minister. Mr. Manmohan Singh was the Finance Minister, and SEBI Act was introduced in 1992. Now, please don't ask me when he was Finance Minister. What is the duration? Right? Same duration, 91 to 95, 96. Right? The SEBI was set up in 1988. Remember this. SEBI was established in 1988. It was not given a statutory status in the beginning. But later there was a scam. Right? Later there was a scam. I'm pretty sure all of you know about the scam. You will be more aware of the scam compared to being aware of who was the finance minister at that point of time. Who was the prime minister at that point of time. And the moment I establish a connection, you will be like, oh, correct. Right, 91, 95. And the scam also happened here. Sir, in the web series, that was not mentioned. Right, in the web series, that was not there. That's the reason I failed to connect the dots like this. I was so entrenched in the web series, I did not realize it is connected to Mr. Manmohan Singh. It is connected to Mr. P.V. Narasimha Rao, etc. Right, so I hope you understand this. SAT is a statutory body. Absolutely correct. It's a statutory body. Okay. Third one, it is a 3-member body. Yes, it's a 3-member body. Right. Who are the 3 members currently? These are the 3 members. And why SAT was there in the newspaper? I'll tell you the background to this. Listen to me carefully. Before you jump up and start, right, let's say criticizing me and say, sir, these are not there in the current affairs. From where you have picked up, I don't know. My dear, SAT is a 3-member body. One is a judicial member and the other one is a technical member. The others are technical members. And why you need to have these 3 members? Imagine there is no judicial member. There is no judicial member. Only technical member is there. Can they issue orders? Think of it. Can they issue orders? Do they have the judicial power? They do not have the judicial power. On the other hand, imagine there are no technical members, only judicial member is there. Can a judicial member write an order speaking about the technicalities of the market? Does the person have any kind of information regarding how the market actually works? No. That's the reason you need to have judicial member as well as the technical member. And that was the focus of discussion. Is it okay? That was the focus of discussion, right? Many experts were criticizing that government is not making appointments to the Security Appellate Tribunal, and many of these cases are pending, and the tribunal is not able to resolve the cases because the technical member is absent, no appointment, or the judicial member is absent, no appointment, right? That was there in the newspaper. So, are there 3 members in the SAT? Yes. Yes, there are 3 members in the SAT, but please understand, it has only one bench sitting at Delhi. No, it has only one bench, but sitting in Mumbai. Is it okay? It has only one bench sitting in Mumbai, not in Delhi. Is everyone okay? Please do let me know. Right? Is everyone okay with this statement? Okay. Right. So, again, somebody will say, sir, you explained everything without telling what is the right option. Right, I'll basically refer to my friend earlier who said 70% of the answers I know. It is option B. My dear, first statement is correct. Second statement is correct. Congratulations, you have got the 70%. Is it okay? Can we go forward now? Right, so question number 6, option is option B. Let me go forward. Question number 7. Right, let's go forward. Question number 7. Consider the following statements regarding QES. And I know lot of you, first doubt that you will have in your mind is, what is QES? Right? Kya hota hai? What is this QES? I've never heard of this. I know quarter, first quarter, second quarter, Q1, Q2, etc. But what is this QES? My dear, all of you, please listen carefully. Look at the right statements first. I'll explain it to you. It is a part of AQEES. Now you will basically say, good. Until now, I did not know what is QES. Now I don't even know what is AQEES. Sone pe suhaga. Okay. Conducted by MOSPI. And the third one is, it provides information about the demand side of the labor market. Right? It provides basically the information from the demand side. Let me explain this. Listen carefully. A lot of you, I'm assuming you're not busy, that you're not reading newspaper. I'm assuming you're reading newspaper. Please do let me know, quarterly once will you come across PLFS? Correct? Once in every quarter, you will come across a data regarding PLFS, Periodic Labor Force Survey. Right? It was published very, very recently, by the way. It was published very, very recently. But please understand, the PLFS survey will not give you complete details of the labor market. It will not give you the complete details of the labor market. Because in the labor market, there are two sides. One is supply of labor. Second one is demand for labor. Is the point clear? Supply of labor. Second one is the demand of labor. PLFS will basically provide you the details of supply of labor. Right? It will give you details from the supply side in the labor market. Now you also need to find out how many jobs are getting created, how much is the demand from the establishments, etc., etc. Is the point clear? Is the point clear? So listen to me carefully. The QES basically stands for Quarterly Employment Survey. Quarterly Employment Survey, and this was started by Government of India, that is Labour Ministry. Right? Labour Ministry from 2021. This was launched by the Labour Ministry from 2021. Right? What do we do under the Quarterly Employment Survey? We basically collect the employment data from the companies. Is the point clear to all of you? Please do let me know in the chat section. We are collecting the data, that is how many jobs are getting created, how much is the demand for labor, what kind of jobs are getting created, etc. from the demand side, that is the companies. And when I say companies here, again there are two divisions in the survey. The larger umbrella is AQEES, and those who are worried about the short form, my dear, have patience. In the handout, full forms are given. In the UPSC, they might use the short form, they might give you full form. You cannot simply complain to the UPSC that you gave only short form, hence I did not answer, give me grace marks. You can't do that. UPSC says come next year. Right? Just like Stree. Right? Stree kal aana, UPSC will say aspirant agle saal aana. So come back to the discussion here. So there is a bigger concept called as AQEES. Right? What is this concept of AQEES? All India Quarterly Employment Establishment Survey. Is the statement clear? All India Quarterly Employment Established Survey. That is essentially, we are collecting the data regarding employment from the, right, let's say, company's side, that is establishment side. And here, the establishment can be formal, establishment can be informal. Correct? All of you able to understand? Establishment can be formal, establishment can be informal as well. Sir, what do you mean by formal and informal? If an establishment has a 10 or more than 10, I'll repeat, if it has a 10 or more than 10, essentially it is a formal enterprise. If it has a 10 or less than 10, it is an informal enterprise. So I said under AQEES, there are two components. Is it okay? There are two components. One is essentially called as QES, Quarterly Employment Survey, and the second one is called as right AFES, right? AFES, Area Frame Establishment Survey. Right? Quarterly Employment Survey, Area Frame Establishment Survey. Now you are ready with your type, right? You are ready to type. Sir, which is formal, which is informal? My dear, area frame establishment survey will focus on informal units. The area frame establishment survey will focus on informal units, and the quarterly employment survey will focus on formal units. Is the statement okay with all of you? Is the structure okay with all of you? So do not be under the impression that the PLFS is the only labor data available in India. No, that is one set of data. Is it important? Yes, it is important. But please understand, PLFS, which is published by MOSPI, Ministry of Statistics and Program Implementation, focuses on the supply side of the labor market. What about the demand side of the labor market? We have one more survey which is called as AQEES, which will focus on formal units as well as informal units. Right? And why this was there in the newspaper? Why it was there? Please have a look at the article. Contractual labor rising in organized sector. Contractual labor is increasing in the organized sector. Basically, the survey was conducted, QES. It says that 1 out of 5 jobs, it's contractual in labor. Sorry, contractual labor. I'll repeat the statement. 1 out of 5 jobs which are generated in organized sector, it is a contractual labor. Right? That is the reason the QES survey which was conducted last year was there in the newspaper. Now, many of you will ask me, sir, should I memorize this particular table? Absolutely not required. Memorizing the table is not required. Concepts are required. I have explained to you the concept of PLFS. Right? It is done quarterly. It is done annually also. But please understand this. For urban India, we calculate PLFS, that is unemployment rate, quarterly as well as annually. Whereas in case of rural India, PLFS, the unemployment rate is calculated annually. It is calculated annually. So be aware what kind of surveys are being conducted, which side it is being conducted, what is the use of the survey, etc. Reason is very simple. Employment as it is important for civil services. But in the last 1 year, there is a lot of discussion that is happening regarding the employment. Okay, let's solve the question now. It is part of AQEES. Yes. It is conducted by MOSPI. No. It provides information about the demand side of the labor market. Right? Yes. So 1, 3 are correct. Right option is option C here. Everybody is okay? Right? And sir, which ministry will publish the QES? Ministry of Labor. Ministry of Labor will publish, right, basically the QES. Okay. Let me go to the next question. Question number 8. Question number 8. Consider the following statements. FCI has implemented the Anna Darpan system to streamline supply chain management. The authorized capital for FCI is at 10,000 crore rupees. And the third one, FCI is a statutory body set up under FCI Act of 1964. Right? How many of the statements are true? Just let me know. Right? The poll has already started. But those who want to listen, let's start. Let's start listening to the argument here. What are the important points? Now, please understand, the Food Corporation of India, FCI, generally is there in the newspaper. But last year, there was one very important newspaper article. The article simply says, authorized capital for Food Corporation of India has been increased to 21,000 crore rupees. And Sweetie Soni says, what is FCI? My dear, Food Corporation of India. FCI stands for Food Corporation of India. It is an entity under the ownership of Government of India, which is involved in the procurement of food grains and distribution of food grains. You must have heard of midday meals scheme. You must have heard of Pradhan Mantri Garib Kalyan Anna Yojana, who will procure the food grains on behalf of the center It is done by FCI. Right? And before I go forward, is FCI procuring food grains only for the distribution purposes? Absolutely no. FCI will procure the food grains even for buffer stocks. Remember this. It will procure the food grains for maintaining buffer stocks as well. Right? This was asked, in fact, in the UPSC mains last year. Is it okay? Last year, buffer stock concept was asked. Let's start. So, FCI, until very recently, the authorized capital. What do you mean by authorized capital? Government of India owns FCI. How much is the total investment that has been done by the government to have ownership of FCI? How much capital has the government of India put in the Food Corporation of India? That is essentially called as authorized capital. So, until very recently, the authorized capital was at 10,000 crore rupees. It was at 10,000 crore rupees. Now, somebody will say, sir, from the beginning it was 10,000 crore? No. In 2019, this happened in 2024. That is, from 10,000 to 21,000 crore happened in 2024. But from 2019 till 2019, it was 3,500 crore. Right? It was essentially 3,500 crore. So, it was increased from 3,500 to 10,000 and from 10,000 to 21,000 crore. So, look at the statement now. The authorized capital is at 10,000. Wrong. It is 21,000 crore. FCI has implemented Annadarpan system. This statement is correct. This statement is absolutely correct. Right? That is, understand this. The Annadarpan system, essentially a new type of a system which has been set up or implemented by the government, ensuring that the whole system of procurement, distribution, etc., will be made digital now. We are going to essentially make the whole system of procurement, distribution, storage, etc., everything will be made digital. And the name of that particular scheme is Annadarpan scheme. Everybody is okay? Everybody is okay. So, first statement is correct. Come to the third statement. It is a statutory body set up under FCI Act. And somebody had said, what is a statutory body? Any authority which is set up according to provisions of an act. I'll repeat the statement. Any authority which is set up according to the provisions of the act is called as a statutory authority. So, Food Corporation of India, is it a statutory authority? Yes, it is the statutory authority. Now, let me ask you one more question. Can you name any other authority which is again important, related to agriculture, which was set up in the same time period? Let me know. Can you name any other authority? This is how you connect the dots. Easier to remember. Rather than memorizing everything independently, easier to remember. Anybody can name another authority which is very important, which was set up in the same duration? Let me know. Sir, you tell. You are teacher, you tell. I am student, I will listen. And some of you will like, sir, how can I type? My hands are dipped in, let's say, rice sambar now. Or I am eating paratha, I am eating parota. It is already there in that particular plate. How can I type? I am not able to type. You only tell, I will simply listen. My dear, please understand, during this time period, there was one more very important authority, that is Commission for Agriculture Cost and Prices. Commission for Agriculture Cost and Prices, CACP. CACP, Commission for Agriculture Cost and Prices. Earlier the name was different. 1985 the name was changed to CACP, but it was set up in 1965 only, very much related to agriculture sector. Then everybody is okay, right? So, first statement is true, third statement is true, right option for the question will be option B. Only two of the statements are correct. Then everybody is okay? Everybody is okay? Can you understand why I am picking up these kind of questions, right? Why, right, these concepts are related to current affairs, etc. Okay, question number 9. Question number 9. Consider the following statements. There are no conditions for the member countries to use peace clause Of course, I'm talking about WTO. Right? I'm talking about World Trade Organization now. Okay. Second statement. The provision is available for all the member countries under WTO. Right? It is available for all the member countries under WTO. Third one, this will protect eligible member countries to cross the threshold limits on the red box subsidies. Right? How many of these statements are correct? And if I want to just give you a background, anyways, the conference, right? The conference, WTO conference, it was there in the newspaper, MC13, right? But apart from this, there was one more very important article. Please have a look at the heading of the article. Look at the heading. Fifth time in a row, India has invoked peace clause for rice in WTO. At fifth time in a row, not just once, not twice. For the fifth time, consecutive time, Government of India has raised a peace clause under WTO. Now you will say, sir, what is a peace clause? Right? Please don't ask me what is WTO. I do understand. You might have not gone up to WTO, right, for revision. But if you simply say now, 120 days away from prelims, if you say, sir, WTO ka hota hai? What is this WTO? Then very dangerous. I'll have to simply drop the marker, right, take my bag and run to my home, right, and simply say, no, not possible. Okay, so again, on a lighter note, don't simply say, how dare you criticize me in the classroom? How dare you? I have not revised. So what? How dare you? That was on a lighter note. Okay, right? So again, somebody will say, sir, what do you mean by lighter note? Joke, mazak. Okay, so now come back to the discussion. Consider the following statements. There are no conditions for the member countries to use peace clause. What is a peace clause? Under WTO, when the member countries, specifically developing countries, not all countries, developing countries, provide subsidies, and these subsidies, I hope you understand, these subsidies will cross a threshold, will cross more than, let's say, 10%, again for developing countries. If the subsidies provided cross more than 10%, and these subsidies will fall under the amber box, according to the provision under the Bali Conference of 2013, a developed country cannot file a complaint against a developing country in such cases. This is essentially called as a peace clause. Is the statement clear? But please understand, a developing country cannot simply cross the threshold. Are there conditions? Of course, yes. A developing country cannot purchase, pay MSP and purchase food grain and start exporting it. Not allowed. Not at all allowed. Right? You cannot keep on giving MSP and keep on purchasing and do not disclose the information to the WTO members. Not allowed. So there are conditions if you want to basically use the peace clause. There are conditions. It's not just unconditional. There are certain conditions. Right? Those who are saying repeat it, I'll repeat it. Right? I'll repeat it. According to Bali Conference, which happened in 2013. And the Bali Conference is the 9th Ministerial Conference. Very recently, 13th Ministerial Conference is there in the newspaper. Bali is the 9th Ministerial Conference. So, in the 9th Ministerial Conference, it was agreed that, later it was agreed, but essentially related to 9th. It was agreed that if a developing country provides agriculture subsidies under the amber box, and if the subsidies cross more than 10% of the total value of production, a developed country cannot file a complaint against a developing country. This is called as, right, essentially a peace clause. Done. So there are no conditions? No, there are conditions attached to that. The provision is available for all the member countries under WTO. Is the peace clause available to all the member countries? No. It is available only for developing countries. Not to all the countries, only for developing. This will protect eligible member countries to cross the threshold limit on the red box subsidy. Somebody will say, yes sir, right? You will allow the member countries, developing countries, right? See, member countries, they can cross, etc. No, it is not amber box. I'm sorry, it is not red box. It is for amber box, right? And by the way, please remember this. Under Agreement of Agriculture, AOA, Agreement on Agriculture, there is no red box. There is absolutely no red box. There is green box, there is a amber box, and there is a blue box. Right? So, third statement, incorrect. Right option for question number 9 will be option D here. Correct? 9th will be option D. Okay. Now, let me go forward. Question number 10. How many of the following statements about factors of production is or are true? About factors of production. Now, somebody will be like, sir, what is this? You are asking me about factors of production. Is it connected to UPSC? Was there anything in the, right, let's say newspaper related to, right, let's say factors of production? Let me show you one newspaper article, that too from Hindu newspaper. That too from Hindu newspaper. Please read the headline of the article. All of you, please read the headline of the article. Land, labor and capital reforms top agenda in the third term, says the finance minister Nirmala Sitharaman. Now, question will be, sir, okay, the headline mentions land, labor and capital, but your question is on factors of production. Have a look at this. Is the term factors of production mentioned in the newspaper? Right? Is the term factors of production mentioned in the article? Yes. Let's start. How many of the following statements about factors of production is or are true? The capital is a produced factor of production. Let me know. Capital is a produced factor of production. Right? What do you mean by factors of production? Essentially, whatever inputs you require, right? Essentially, whatever inputs you require to produce, these are classified into 4 types. These are classified into 4 types, and I'm very happy by the way, because one of the student, Nandana Warrior, says, sir, term cell. Because I tell the students in the classroom, remember the acronym CELL. Remember the acronym CELL, that is land, labor, capital, entrepreneurship. Land, labor, capital, entrepreneurship. Easier, right, acronym to remember. Now, some of you might simply say, why? I will not use the acronym CELL, right? I will use something else. My dear, left to you. Left to you. I am like a committee which has been set up by Government of India. I can only give recommendation. I cannot enforce anything. I hope you understand this. I can only recommend, not enforce anything. You are the Government of India. You decide what you want to implement. So, come back to the discussion here. 4 factors of production. And during the election procedure or during the election time period, Finance Minister was repeatedly talking about land, labor reforms. Land, labor and capital reforms. And what is the idea? Land, labor, capital are 3 out of 4 factors of production. The capital is a produced factor of production. Yes. Right? Capital is a produced factor of production. Somebody will say, no sir, I don't think so, that is correct. Capital means money. Money we are not going to produce. So you are wrong. My dear, please do let me know. This is capital. Can everybody see? This is 100 rupee by the way. I cannot go any forward, I'll fall. Okay, so have a look at this. Right, so this is money. Now tell me, can you directly convert this money into a marker? Can you directly convert? No. Right, so when you talk about capital, capital essentially means a factor of production which has been produced by us. Is it okay? A factor of production which is produced by us. Right, so essentially the capital is a produced factor of production. Yes. Right, yes. Third one, I'm sorry, second statement. All the factors of production are naturally available. Do you think machine is naturally available? Let me know. Do you think machine is naturally available? No. In fact, if you say first statement is correct, you will have to say second statement is incorrect. Right? I hope you understand. Mutually exclusive. You cannot say one is correct and two is correct. If one is correct, second one is incorrect. So second one is incorrect. Third one, the factors of production are owned by everyone in socialism. That is essentially the feature of socialism. That is essentially the feature of socialism. Right? What is socialism? In socialism, the factors of production, unlike capitalism, is not owned by the private. It is owned by the people. Now you will basically say, sir, how can you say people? Right? How can people own? My dear, it is collectively owned by the people, but managed by government. Managed by the government. Is the statement okay with all of you? The factors of production, that is question number 10. The third statement, factors of production in socialism are owned by everyone. Fourth one, the labor is available in socialism as a commodity just like in capitalism. Absolutely no. Right? But now somebody will simply say, how can you say incorrect in socialism? Is labor not available in socialism? Of course, yes, labor is available in socialism. But you let me know, it is available like a commodity, or as a commodity means just like in capitalism where you can abuse the labor. Do you think in socialism there is abuse of labor? Because if it is available like a commodity, there is always a potential of abuse. Is it available as a commodity in socialism? Again, no. Is it okay? Fourth statement is incorrect. So, 1, 3rd is correct. 2 of the statements are true. Right option will be option B for question number 10. Done? Can we go forward now? And the reason that I have given this kind of a question, very basic kind of a question, is because of, right, because of the article like this. Question number 11. Let's go forward. Question number 11. If you ask me, easy question. Easy question. Okay. Consider the following statements. Zimbabwe is the only country in the world to have gold standard. Second question, it has not kept any banking, right? Any backing of the currencies for this new currency. Right? By the way, new currency is a ZIG. Zimbabwe has introduced a new currency by the name of ZIG. Okay? ZIG, right? ZIG, you pronounce it whatever you want to. Right? So, let's start. Zimbabwe is the only country in the world to have a gold standard. Now, be careful regarding these kind of statements. Why? I'll tell you. One of the thumb rule, which I'm pretty sure all of you heard of this, is whenever there is an extreme statement, it will be wrong. Right? Please do let me know whether I'm correct in this assumption or not. One of the thumb rule that you might have heard is, whenever there is an extreme statement, statement is wrong. Now you would have remembered that. Some of you would have tattooed it like Ghazni, right? You are sitting in the examination hall and this statement is given. You look at your tattoo and say, statement is incorrect. But my dear, statement is correct. Statement is absolutely correct. Zimbabwe in the world now is the only country which has a gold standard. Which has a gold standard. This is the only country in the world now. Sir, right, where I should have read this? Please have a look at the articles here. Zimbabwe allows currency free fall while it weighs a gold standard. Zimbabwe launches new gold backed currency. So, Zimbabwe right now is the only country which has a gold standard, which essentially means for the 6th time now, in the last 15 plus years, for the sixth time, they have introduced a new currency. And the new currency goes by the name of ZIG, Zimbabwe Gold. Zimbabwe Gold. Right? And please understand, the value of this currency, they have connected with the value of gold. So, gold standard. Right? It is the only country in the world to have a gold standard. First statement is correct. Second one, it has not kept any backing of the currencies for this new currency. Right? it has no backing for this currency. No backing has been kept. Statement is incorrect. The second statement is incorrect. Why? Please remember this. It has kept a certain backing of $575 million. It has a backing of $575 million to basically issue this new kind of a currency, that is a ZIG. So first statement is correct, second one is incorrect. Right option will be option A now. Now let me ask you a very simple question. Does RBI keep any backing to issue currencies in India? Please do let me know. Does RBI keep any currency as a backing in India to issue new currencies, currency notes, etc.? Right? What is the answer? Yes, no, yes, no. It has to be either yes or either no. Right? Answer is yes. Right? Answer is yes. Right? Tarak N says earlier it used to. No, my dear. We follow a system called as a minimum reserve system. Remember the name. Right? A minimum reserve system. Right? We follow a system called as a minimum reserve system. Right? Earlier we used to have proportional reserve system. We have a full reserve system also. All of you able to understand? Earlier we used to have full reserve system. That is whatever is the value of currency, same value of reserve I will keep. Then we shifted to proportional. That is, let's say 30%. We will issue currencies, 30% of that we will keep it as backing. And later we realized it is also not possible. We have minimum reserve system where we are keeping backing of 200 crore rupees. 115 crore in the form of gold and 85 crore in the form of cash. That is a minimum reserve system. Done. Everybody is okay with question number 11. Can we go forward? Question number 11. Right option is option A. Next question. Question number 12. Consider the following statements. All the forms of insurance was nationalized in 1956. IRDAI was set up based on the recommendation of Malhotra Committee. And the third one, FDI up to 100% is allowed in the insurance sector. How many of the statements are true? Let me know. How many of the statements are true? Right? Only one of them are true. Two of them are true. All the three are true, or none of them are true. And some of you will basically say, sir, give me fifth option. Skip the question. Give me a fifth option. It should be skip the question. I want to simply jump to the next question because I've never heard anything related to whatever is there in the question. IRDAI, I'm hearing it today. Right? All the forms of insurance was nationalized. You will be like, insurance is nationalized. किसी ने नहीं बताया मुझे. Nobody told me. How can they nationalize it, etc. My dear, all the three statements are related to purely current affairs. Let me prove it to you. In recent times, is there a discussion of allowing 100% FDI in insurance? Let me know. In recent times, is there a discussion? There is a lot of discussion regarding allowing FDI in insurance. But on the other side, historically, if you see insurance sector, the government of India in fact had nationalized insurance. I hope you understand. You are talking today about allowing FDI. But earlier, the insurance sector was nationalized. Right? So, first statement is regarding nationalization. Third statement is regarding FDI. And second statement, somebody will say, okay, agreed. Since you are shouting so much, I agreed first statement is related. Third statement is related to current affairs. But why did you give me second statement on IRDAI? Why? Tell me why. Why IRDAI? My dear, this is the reason. Right? This is the simple reason. IRDAI marks a 25th anniversary. Last year, IRDAI celebrated 25th anniversary. And anything that will celebrate 25, 50, 75, 100, etc. is a favorite area of UPSC. Okay, now let's start. Let's start. Now somebody will say, yes, you said nationalization, first statement is correct. No, first statement is incorrect. I am saying first statement is incorrect. Now you will be confused. You will be like, sir, don't play games with me. Hardly 2 minutes ago you said insurance was nationalized. Now you are saying first statement is incorrect. How can both of them be correct like this? One has to be correct. Nationalized or not nationalized? My dear, insurance essentially has two segments. Insurance has two segments. One is life insurance. Another one is general insurance. Correct? One is life insurance. Another one is general insurance. The life insurance segment, right, was nationalized in 1956. Remember the years also. They can ask you this. They can ask you this. The life insurance was nationalized in 1956. The general insurance was nationalized in 1972. It was, right, nationalized in 1972. So now tell me, is the first statement completely correct? It is not completely correct, partially correct. But in UPSC, partially correct will not get you marks. It will get you completely negative marks. Is it okay? You might simply say partially correct, sir. So out of 2 numbers, I got 1 number correct. So don't give me full marks, give me half of the marks. UPSC says, right, Dhanyavad for appearing for UPSC exam. Your 1 attempt is counted. I will not give you, right, even half marks, but I'll give you complete negative mark. Right, so first statement is incorrect. Second statement, IRDAI was set up based on the recommendation of Malhotra committee. Yes, memorize this. Because it is celebrating the silver jubilee now, memorize this. It was recommended by Malhotra committee. Okay. Third one, FDI up to 100% is allowed in insurance? No. It is not 100%. Please understand. Until very recently, that is again I'll connect it to finance minister who passed away recently, Mr. Manmohan Singh. When there was UPA government, it was actually increased from 26% to 49%. It was increased from 26% to 49%. And very recently, right, let's say in 2021, it was increased to 74%. It was increased to 74%. Right, now the thought is we should increase it to 100%. We should increase it to 100%. Again, it is a thought. Budget is coming up. Hardly 1 more week. Budget is there. It might be announced that FDI will be increased to 100. But right now, it is 74%. Okay, so third statement is incorrect. So first one is incorrect. Third one is incorrect. Second one is correct. Right option for question number 12 will be option A. Is it okay? Done. Now let me go forward. Question number 13. Okay, let me go forward. Question number 13. In the event of a country falling into recession, which of the following are likely measures to be undertaken? This is an easier question if you ask me. This is an easier question. And before you jump to conclusion, sir, India has not fallen into recession. Why are you giving this kind of a question? India, yes, we have experienced a slowdown, but let the budget be presented. We will bounce back. We will become the fastest growing economy and the largest, third largest growing economy very, very soon. Why are you talking about recession? Nowhere it is there in the current affairs. Have a look at these 2 articles. Please have a look at these 2 articles, right? Japan slips into recession. UK falls into recession. Last year, Germany fell into recession. Right? New Zealand fell into double dip recession. Right? So the term recession was there very often in the newspaper. So based on this, I have given you a very simple question. Okay, very simple question. So in the event of a country falling into recession, which of the following are likely measures to be taken? First, increase interest rates. Please do let me know. If an economy falls into a recession, and those who are wondering, sir, tell me answer later. First tell me what is recession. Tell me what is recession. Tell me answer later. I am worried about recession. You are talking about measure. Recession simply means when the GDP for 2 consecutive quarters contracts. When the GDP for 2 consecutive quarters falls, reduces or contracts, it is called as recession. Okay. Should you increase interest rates when there is recession? No. Right? Should you increase interest rates? No. You should reduce interest rates so that more loans are taken, more money is supplied. Right? An investment starts increasing, right? Demand starts increasing, etc. Is it okay? Second one, reduce capital expenditure. When there is recession, should you reduce capital expenditure? Again, no. Right? If you want to promote a recovery, if you want to move out of recession, you should increase capital expenditure. So, second one is also not correct. Third one, increasing flow of credit. Of course, yes. You should increase flow of the credit in the economy. And the fourth one, increase the tax rate. Already middle class is suffering. Right? Take example of India. Right? We are not able to purchase sufficient goods and services. Inflation is hitting us. Right? Insurance is also hitting us. Now, caramel popcorn is also hitting us. Imagine you increase furthermore tax rate. So, will this prompt more demand in the market? Right? Absolutely no. Right? Absolutely no. This will not lead to more demand. It might further push the economy into recession, further, moving towards depression. So, only third is correct. Right option for the question will be option A. Only third one is correct. Is everyone okay? Please do let me know. Is everyone okay? Right? So, question number 13, right option is option A. Now, let me go forward. Question number 14. Right? Simple question. Again, not very technical also. What can be asked in UPSC? I have given you this. Which of the following regarding scores 2.0, scores 2.0 is or are correct? Right? Which of the following are basically correct regarding scores 2.0? Now, have a look at this. Why scores is important? Financial market. Point number 1, financial market. Second one, scores essentially is a platform which has been set up by SEBI. Okay, scores is a platform which has been set up by SEBI, Securities Exchange Board of India. SEBI back in the year 2021 had set up just a platform by the name of scores. And if you're wondering, sir, what is score? It is given in, let's say capital letters. It should mean, it is an acronym. That is a thumb rule. Something written in capital means it is acronym. So, what is score? SEBI's control redressal system. SEBI complaint, not control, complaint redressal system. So, 2021, 2021, we launched the first iteration. Last year, 2024, we launched the second iteration, second version of scores. So, what is the use of this complaint redressal system? You have a complaint regarding somebody in the stock market. Somebody in the sense, let's say stockbroker. You can raise a complaint using this portal. Right? So, it is a portal for complaint redressal system set up by SEBI. First statement is true. Second statement, the complaint redressal system or complaint redressal has to be done in 21 calendar days. Absolutely correct. Both are factual information, factual information. No concept here, simply factual information. So, both the statements are true. Question number 14, right option will be option C. And finally, the last question for today, question number 15. Consider the following statements. The World Food Programme was launched in 1961. The 12th Ministerial Conference has allowed the countries to impose ban on rice exports. And the third one, India is one of the largest importer of rice. Right? India is the largest importer of rice. And many of the students will simply say, sir, with utmost guarantee, I can say third statement is incorrect. And they'll simply say this. With utmost guarantee, I've read so much in current affairs, I can assure you that third statement is incorrect. Right? And to those students, I'll say, yes, you're absolutely correct. The third statement is incorrect. Why? India is an exporter of rice, not an importer. But now, the problem is related to first two statements. Right? You have solved the third one. What about the first two? You want to use elimination method. I have not given any scope for elimination method here. I have eliminated the elimination method. So now what will happen? Right? Please understand, this was the newspaper article. This was essentially the newspaper article. India to bar rice exporters from UN food relief tenders. Right? This was there in the newspaper. What is the connection? Listen to me carefully. There is a body under the United Nations called as World Food Program. Okay, there is a body, World Food Program. This is one of the largest humanitarian, right, let's say international organizations. Humanitarian means they will procure food grains from other countries, distribute the food grains in the countries where there is crisis. In the countries where there is crisis, they will simply procure this food grain and distribute there. Now, at this point of time, when the World Food Program wanted to procure rice from India, there was a rising price of rice in India. All of you able to understand? Right? There was a rising price. That is, the price of the rice was actually increasing. The argument now Government of India put forward was, if I allow the rice to be exported, that is purchased by the World Food Program and taken out of India, I am already concerned about inflation in the rice. Further supply will go down. That will lead to inflation more and that will hurt us. And 2024 elections were also there. Don't write this in the exam, by the way. Understand. Some things you need to understand, not write and not even utter during interview. So understand the logic here. Government said inflation. I will not allow rice to be supplied when World Food Program will purchase the food grains in India. I will not allow. In fact, please understand, wheat was allowed. Right? Wheat was allowed to be exported through World Food Program. Rice was not allowed. Is the point clear? Rice was never allowed. So, World Food Program was launched in 1961. Yes, correct. The 12th Ministerial Conference allowed the countries to impose ban on the rice export. No. Absolutely no. And by the way, please understand, any ministerial conference you talk about, any ministerial conference, we always talk about more trade. We talk about more trade across the border. So can you at least apply that logic and say 12th Ministerial Conference statement will be incorrect? Because you tell me, in which of the ministerial conference the member countries will discuss and say, yes, we should impose export ban. We should basically not allow the export to happen. You will not see. In fact, you will see opposite. That is, the member countries will be alleging other countries that, right, this country is not allowing me to export more. This country is not allowing more and more export, etc. But to be very precise here, in the 12th Ministerial Conference, there was in fact an agreement to allow more export of rice for humanitarian purposes. Right? Everybody is okay? Under the 12th Ministerial Conference, it was actually addressed that, it was actually right, discussed and agreed to that. India was not agreeing. Later it agreed. Basically, the agreement was, if World Food Program will come to my country and try to purchase food grains for humanitarian purposes, I will allow it to purchase it. But later on, Government of India simply said, rice, we will not allow it to be procured by WFP. Other commodity, for example, wheat, it was procured by WFP. So, second statement is incorrect. First statement is correct. Right. So, two of the statements are incorrect. One is correct. Right option for question number 15 will be A. Is the statement okay with all of you? Is the concept clear for all of you? The right option will be option A here. So these are the 15 questions that I wanted to discuss. Now I'll give you a bonus article. Just like companies providing you 1% bonus or 2% bonus, I'll give you a bonus article, right? Have a look at this article, and if time permits, I know all of you are very busy in the sense you are busy with UPSC preparation. If time permits, spare 2 minutes, read this article. Why? Very niche article, very niche article, which talks about India exporting pesticide to Afghanistan. India exporting a pesticide to Afghanistan. What UPSC might simply do is a straightforward question. Which of the following pesticide was exported from India to Afghanistan? Right? Let's say they will give you this kind of a question. Right? So spare 2 minutes out of your busy life of UPSC preparation. Spare 2 minutes, right? Have a look at the article, and don't worry about the article. The link to download the article will be provided in my Telegram channel, right? After some time, this is again the QR code of my Telegram channel. You can scan, right? And you can join the Telegram channel. And I'll assure you that I will not upload any song in my channel. I will not upload any pirated movie in my channel. Only content related to economics. Is it okay? Now, if you have any questions, do let me know. Do let me know any questions. Okay, any question? Tomorrow again, I'm only going to be there. Don't become happy. Finally, economy got over. Tomorrow I'll learn something else. No, right? Tomorrow also, same time, you will be able to see my face only. Right? I will only be discussing Indian economy part 2 tomorrow. Okay. How to do fast revision? My dear, make short notes. Make short notes. Right? Revise fast. Peace clause, explain again. Shiv Sukh. Okay. Right? So, what is a peace clause? There are different types of subsidies which are provided by member countries. One is, right? Let's say, understand this. The subsidies which are provided are classified. One is called as amber box, and when the member countries will provide amber box subsidy, it will create a distortion in the market. It will basically disturb the international trade. That is the reason under WTO, a developing country is allowed to provide these subsidies, but the value of subsidy should not cross more than 10% for a developing country, more than 5% for a developed country. But in the Bali conference, what was agreed to was, if a developing country, if they want to procure more food grain for food security purposes, not for export, food security purposes, and in the process of that, if they cross the limit of 10%, no country should file a complaint against this. The developing country will be protected from such complaint. That is essentially called as a peace clause. Is it okay? So, statement to factors of production. My dear, the factors of production, essentially, please understand, right? What do you mean by the factors of production? These are essentially the inputs, okay? Inputs which are used to produce. Capital means man-made. Capital essentially means man-made. For example, right, let's say manufacturing facility. Is the manufacturing facility available in nature? Machine. Is it available in nature? Has anybody seen? Sir, I was digging in my backyard. I got a machine worth 2 crore rupees. If that machine is there, somebody would have dropped it. It is not naturally available. Right? So, the capital is a man-made. That is, it is a produced factor of production. All factors of production naturally available. Opposite to first statement, wrong. Third one, the factors of production are owned by everyone in socialism. Please understand the meaning of socialism. Understand the socialism concept. Socialism in a nutshell means, in capitalism, the private sector will control. And basically, because the private sector was given the power, there was a great American Depression. As a reaction to capitalism, socialism was born in Soviet Union. As a reaction to that. And what is socialism? Everybody is the owner of factors of production. Not private sector. private ownership not allowed. Everybody is the owner. Right? That is essentially socialism. Okay. What is the red box? My dear, there is no concept of a red box in case of agriculture. There is no concept of red box in the agreement on agriculture. Blue box essentially means those subsidies which are used to control production. You want to use the subsidy to limit production. That is essentially a blue box. Okay, so let me stop the discussion today here. Any suggestion to strengthen concept? My dear, revise. I would simply say make mind map, revise. Is it okay? Right, so that's it for today. See you tomorrow sharp at 7 p.m. again with many more questions related to current affairs. Okay, so take care. Have a great day. See you tomorrow. If you like this initiative, do not forget to hit the like button. And if you're yet to subscribe to our YouTube channel, kindly do it now. Take care. See you tomorrow. Good night.